this video, I'm going to briefly talk about the Kaʻao Model and how it applies to your huaka'i, or your journey as a student. Kaʻao means story, and with the Kaʻao Model, we're looking at your story as a student through Hawaiian mythology and through 5 specific steps. The first step is the hua. Hua has a lot of different meanings, but in the context of the Kaʻao Model, we're going to think of it as the egg or seed. So in this context, we're looking at your catalyst or purpose or reason. Why are you here on this journey as a student? Why are you taking these steps? What is the greater purpose or goal that you have? And this is an important step to remember as you go through your journey, always to rethink what is your hua, and it can be a grounding step. So as you're in the middle of the huaka'i and things start to get rough, go back and think about your hua or your purpose. And hopefully that will help you keep going on your huaka'i or your journey. The next step is the ha'alele, which means to abandon or to depart or to leave. So in the context of the Kaʻao Model, in the ha'alele, sometimes you have to actually depart or leave yourself, your former self, as you embark on your journey as a student. This can also mean maybe leaving behind other things like jobs or even people who aren't really helpful to you as you go through your journey. This also involves thinking about what you need to be successful on your journey. So it could be as small as thinking about who's going to help you fill out your FOSFA. Where can you get tutoring? So in this ha'alele stage, it's really helpful to think about all of these things before you start your huaka'i. And then too, if you work, you're a parent or a caregiver, thinking about how you'll balance all of that out before you start your huaka'i is also an important piece to this step in the Kaʻao Model. The next step is the actual journey itself, the huaka'i. So as you're a student, as you're in this journey, you will experience many, many different adventures. So the huaka'i really represents this stage as you go through all of the different aspects of being a student and what you experience on this journey. The next stage is the ho'ina, which means to return or go back. So in this step, we're going to, after you've finished and you've graduated, got a certificate, whatever purpose you have, going back to your hua, revisit that hua, and then think about not just what did you learn on this huaka'i, but what can you share with your family, with the people who supported you on this journey, and in your community. How can you give back? And then the last piece is the ha'ina. So in the ha'ina, this is where you tell your story. This is the part or the place where you can be really inspirational and motivate other people who are just starting their huaka'i or their journey. And that is the Kaʻao Model. And when I teach online, or I'm sorry, in person, we learn a hei, and then we relate the hei and the experiences in learning the hei to the Kaʻao Model. So I'm just going to quickly go through and do this hei as an example. So this is Ki Puka a Hele La'a Maui, and this hei represents the mo'olelo or story of how Maui captured the sun. So for this particular hei, we do the hei first, and then we do the oli or the chant. So Ki Puka a Hele a la Maui, Kili ka a kawa a Maui ka la, I Ki Puka Hele a Maui, Lilo makali'i ka la, Lilo ke kau ya Maui. So this hei, as I mentioned, describes Maui's journey or huaka'i to slow down the sun. And if you're familiar with this mo'olelo, you can think about how the different steps of the Kaʻao Model apply to Maui's adventure when he goes to Haleakala, which is the home of the sun, to maybe not so nice, convince the son to slow down so his mother's kapa can have time to dry. Mahalo.